My Gavan and Melonin, and well met indeed. I'm Arachir Galadirthan, and welcome to this announcement video. Won't be anything to see today other than myself, and I'm hoping this video won't be too long. Many of you will already know exactly what I'm about to say, but it was best to do it in an announcement on both Discord and here on YouTube, so here we go. From today, or rather from yesterday, and moving forward, I've taken the decision to step down as the head of Divide and Conquer, and also to completely pull back on the amount of modding that I do for the mod as well. And I'll talk about that more in a moment and who will replace me. But first of all, functionally, what will that actually mean for you, the viewer here on YouTube, and those of you around on Discord? And fundamentally, in those locations, it will mean basically nothing. I will still continue with YouTube with as much verve as I have been of late, and I will still continue to do all the DAC-related videos that I do when they are right to be done. And by that I mean the installation video when version 5 releases, the faction overviews, again, when version 5 releases, developer diaries to keep up with what's happening in the mod, and of course Let's Plays and the like. So the channel will remain almost wholly unaffected. But in terms of modding, my input on the mod will now be dropped down to almost nothing. I'll be a background modder, so I'll be little more than a beta tester, really, a glorified beta tester. I might do the odd bit of modding here and there, but I fully expect to be passing that part of my life up and moving on from it altogether, really. And then we shall see how long YouTube lasts hereafter. Additionally, Discord will be totally unaffected, so if you're at our homepage on Discord, that will still be our homepage. I will still remain as the Grand Master, but that's because of YouTube. The Discord is both the home of a place for my YouTube channel and for Divide and Conquer, because the two are very intertwined. So I shall remain as that in discussion with my replacement, and he has taken the role of DAC Secretary, which takes the same colour as me. So now if you see a purple colour, you know you're talking to one of the two people that in essence run the Discord. So that will help there. If you're wondering why I have a stupid grandiose name like Grand Master, it's because I really like military orders and I like order. I don't like chaos. And I based our ranks on the Knights Templar and their military structure, and the Grand Master is what their head was called. But now that there are 20,000 of us in the Discord or whatever, it just seems like a ridiculously pompous title. But back when there were only about 100 of us, it was just an in-joke. But I can't bring myself to change it, even though I should really. But I'm not really your Grand Master. Live your lives. Now, my replacement will be Lord of Links, but with a slight caveat. He's asked that instead of taking on a direct leadership role, we're not 100% convinced that there needs to be one. Instead, there needs to be a sort of chaperone and a person who is tasked with dealing with the admin. The primary function of the leader, or my primary function over these years, has been administrative, building the installer and releasing it, building the Discord entirely when we left Total War Center, finding people that might want to work with the mod, arranging when we do beta tests, all this kind of stuff, motivating and jivvying the mod. But also a key function is overseeing the kind of direction of the mod, like making the core decisions about what we're going to work on in this next version. Let's work on that and then move on. Because if there isn't someone to guide that, give that kind of direction, then before I was the modder, we had a leader who didn't really give that kind of direction. Before I was leader, sorry. And people would just come in, do completely their own thing. No one would really know what they were doing. And then when we installed the next version of our own mod, we'd find things that we didn't even know had been done. So I didn't like that. So maybe I've been overbearing in the years that I've worked on it, but I thought that was a better approach, is to set down what do we actually want to see in the next version and get everyone to work on that. And Lynx is going to take up that role. He's chosen the name DAC Secretary rather than Leader, so we're going full Communist Party. I don't know why I've done the Boy Scout symbol, but we're going Communist Party, and Lynx will lead forth in that. Also, to ensure the I can't even say this word, continuity. To ensure the continuity of the mod, something we desperately need is new blood. Lynx was brought on some time ago, and he's been an absolute asset to the mod, and I'm really thrilled he'll take on the Secretary role. But speaking for myself and speaking for Hummingbird as well, I know that both of us have really been dropping down in how much work we do. And obviously it's culminated in this, my, in essence, giving up modding altogether and just focusing on advertising DAC. Hummingbird has similar sorts of plans to wind down himself, so we really need new blood. RK is at the moment is completely AWOL, who knows where he is. He did pop back some months ago and said apologies for the absence, but he will be back, and then that's never really come to fruition. But then we do have Roher and the Elite Dwarf working away still as well. But if I may just be blunt, Rohirrim and the Elite Dwarf don't have the skills to encompass everything. So they can't lead the mod on their own, and I'm sure they would agree with me. So we need more people. And so I'm very pleased to announce that as of today, it's confirmed that Bill Baraka and Castellan of Angmar have been brought on to bring their excellence with unit creation, so modelling and texturing. So you should now see either improvements to existing models, because we've only got 500 units you can add, and we're already at 490 something. But you should see some improvements to the units that are in the mod, and some polishing to those, and any new units now will probably be created by them. So we're very grateful to them. We've also reached out to Calistonian, who, I don't know if he's the head of Heirs of Elendil, the submod, or because he talks about it being a collaborative project, but I've always kind of seen him as the head, and that may be wrong. But Calistonian has also agreed to come on and help with scripting and coding where possible. So now we've got a really experienced scripter involved as well, which is very helpful to have. We lost when version 4.5 released, we lost our experienced scripter, and to fill that void, I started to learn how to script, but it's basic knowledge that I hold in the scripting department, I'm afraid. Links also can do some scripting as well, but it was imperative that we got someone who really, really, really knew their way around the script. So Calistonian has been brought on for that. And lastly, but not leastly, Finn has also agreed to join us, the creator of the AI and Gameplay Overhaul submod. Someone who is very, very active in modding, and I'm really thrilled that he accepted the position. I think that will mean great things. Primarily, it will mean that version 5 is no longer a pipe dream, a vision shrouded in mist at the end of a road, equally shrouded in mist. It is now a concrete pillar that we can see in the distance, a target to be reached. And I feel that with the new team members, we should be able to get that out to you within due course. Speaking for my own part then, why have I decided now to stop? I've been at Divide and Conquer now. I've led Divide and Conquer for about 7 years, I think, but I've been a part of it since July 2012. That was when I joined, and I first wrote those Candish unit descriptions. And I was working then with a gentleman called Emperor of Hell, who was a young Dutch guy. And I mean young. I think he was 17 or something when I joined. And I was 20 when I joined. So I suppose not that different, really. But and it was under his guide that we learned that we created the mod back then. But the team members slowly started to fade and drop off. And not even slowly. It happened very quickly. And eventually it went down to just me, Fire Freak, and Emperor of Hell. And by that point, Emperor of Hell hadn't really done any modding in, I think, about half a year. And it was just Fire Freak and I was learning on the job while I was doing things to try and help Fire Freak. And then eventually Fire Freak gave up and left as well. And then it was just me and Emperor of Hell. And Emperor just kind of disappeared. And he just vanished. No, I'm leaving. You're on your own, Galu. Good luck. He just went. It just faded. With a full expectation that Dak would go with it, I suppose. But I soldiered on for about a year, I think, just over a year, entirely on my own. And I did as much as I could to try and drive Dak forwards. And then Hummingbird joined, and then various others have joined over the years. Many have joined and left over the years. But it's been around a circa 9-year journey to this point. And I apologise, I keep looking out the window, but I'm not very good at talking to a camera or talking to a black screen. I need something. I need life to see. But anyway, so I've been here for some time, and this past year I have really dropped the ball. I've done very little modding. I've done very little to try and motivate the team. My input has been few and far between, and that's the key issue. DAC takes its decisions collaboratively. You may think that I'm a sort of dictator leading what we do, but I don't. Anything we add to the mod, we talk about, we discuss. The Enedwythe overviews, the Dunland overviews, all of it is discussed, including with the better team as well, usually. And whilst we may appear overbearing, we do value everyone's opinion, and we do, at the bare minimum, make a decision as a team. It's rare that one of us just says, I'm doing this, like it or lump it. And I hadn't really been around to be involved in even those conversations. I wasn't getting actively involved in the discussions moving DAC forward, and worst of all, I wasn't doing any modding at all. And the thing that's really triggered it, to be honest, is the release of Rome 1 Remastered. Rome 1 Remastered suggests very strongly that there's likely to be a Med 2 remaster. And I found myself thinking, I just don't want to port DAC over to that. I just will not put in the time that's needed to do that. And I can't expect my team to work if I'm not working. That's inherently wrong. I can't ask them to do everything while I sit back and do nothing. And I found myself thinking that when Med 2 comes, someone else needs to be heading Dak up. We don't want Dak to just fall away and die and stagnate and not pass it on to anyone. So it's best to pass it on now while I'm around and I can work with them and do handovers and whatnot, and still stay around in the background for Dak for a while. I think it's better to do that. So there we are. It's just time to step away. But as I say, I'll continue on YouTube and continue advertising Dak as far and wide as I can, and make that the core feature of YouTube. Discord, as I say, will remain unaffected, but with the 4 new team members, I really feel like Dak is best placed to move forward well. And it feels almost like relief, to be honest, to finally give it up and just not have to carry the burden of the guilt is a better word, not burden. The guilt is a much better word. The guilt in knowing that we could quite easily have got version 5 out within a year if we'd actually just done the work, but clearly we haven't. And for my own part, that comes from a mix of lethargy and apathy. I just don't have the interest anymore in actually modding the game. I still thoroughly enjoy playing it, don't get me wrong. And I'm really excited to see what new things Finn and Calistonian and Bill and Castellan and Lynx as the secretary now. I'm excited to see what new things they'll bring now that it's not stifled by my puppeteering way, I suppose. So there we are. That's the announcement. And there's nothing really else to say, I suppose. I will still be very, very active. As I say, I will still be around on YouTube and you will still see me constantly on the Discord. But now I can play Apex Legends in my spare time without worrying about people getting annoyed that I'm playing Apex Legends in my spare time. And I can focus on my job as that ramps up, as I qualify as a solicitor in July, which is a lawyer to anyone who doesn't know what a solicitor is. And I'm also getting married in July. Many of you may not know that, but I am. And my life is going to be getting a lot busier. And so now was the time to hand it over to before things really do get worse. So there we are. So I do hope this new period of Dak brings peace and prosperity to all. And I thank you all for watching, and I hope this wasn't too dull. But until we speak again, dear friends, Nevair na den Perimad Melonin. Farewell.